Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me, and when he measured the distance, he found out that he had come 150 kilometers away from Paris. When I saw the clouds, then he saw there were clouds in the sky. Before it, the sky was quite clear, but now he could see the clouds in the sky. Storm clouds, and these were not normal or ordinary clouds, these were storm clouds. Means these clouds were declaring, or you can say these were the sign of an imminent storm, or that storm was approaching. They were huge, big clouds were there. They looked like black mountains, and they were looking like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. Means those clouds were so huge, so big, that they just looked like black mountains. I knew I could not fly up and over them. I knew. A writer says that he knew that he could not fly up and over them. He could not fly his aeroplane over the clouds or up the clouds, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. And one fuel tank has already been finished, and he was using the second one, so there was not enough fuel to fly the aeroplane around the clouds towards north or south. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought. And then the writer thought that he should go back to Paris, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast, but he wanted to go home. He wanted to meet his family. He wanted to spend his holidays there. He wanted to have the breakfast with his family, and that's why I'll take the risk. I thought he decided to take the risk. Risk of what? You will read here. And flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. He took the risk of flying his old aeroplane into the storm, into the clouds, and inside the cloud. It was a risk. There could happen anything with his aeroplane, because there would be darkness inside the clouds, but he took the risk. And why did he take the risk? He took the risk just because he wanted to reach his home. He wanted to spend his holidays there with his family. He wanted to have the great English breakfast there inside the clouds. And when he entered the clouds, everything was suddenly black. Everything turned black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. And he could not see anything outside because there was darkness and darkness only. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. His aeroplane started jumping in the air. It was twisting, means it was losing the balance. I looked at the compass. He wanted to know the direction. He looked at the compass, but I could not believe. But he could not believe his eyes, because what happened at that time? The compass was turning round and round and round. It was turning round and round in a circular motion. It was dead. It was not working at all. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. He tried to establish a connection or communication or contact to that Paris control room, but his radio was also not working. All the instruments were dead. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. He got no answer at all. The radio was dead too. The radio was also not working. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. And he didn't know about the direction or the place, or he didn't know where to go. I was lost in the storm. And he was lost in that storm. And it was, you can say, deliberate risk which he took. Then, in the black clouds quite near me, and just then what happened? Just near him, near the black clouds, he saw another aeroplane. Before it, he was the only one pilot to fly his plane in the sky, but just then he saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, and there were no lights on the wings of that plane. But I could see it flying next to me through the storm. But he could see that the aeroplane was flying just near him, in front of him, and I could see the pilot's face also turned towards me. He saw the pilot in the other aeroplane, and his face turned towards him. I was very glad to see another person, and when he saw the another person in the sky in that risky or dangerous situation, he became very happy. He lifted one hand and waved. The pilot in the other aeroplane lifted one hand and waved towards this pilot. Follow me, he was saying, follow me, as he was instructing him to follow his plane. जैसे कि वो इसको इंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहा हो कि मेरे पीछे आओ.